So I thought it would be worth trying to make a commercial game as fast as humanly possible. And what genre is easier to make than the not yet properly named Survivors-like? I'll even make the graphics extremely simple, so I can make it faster, give them an easy glow effect to spice it up a bit, call the game Neon Survivors. Here's the premise. You're in an infinite arena with enemies spawning around you, survive for 4 whole minutes. Killing enemies grants XP, which can be used to get upgrades, which can be used to kill more enemies and get more XP, etc. 4 minutes of gameplay is not very much for a game that you've paid for, and crucially is slightly below the 2-hour refund window on Steam. To solve this, I have stolen a great idea that many other games have used: characters and levels. Before you start playing, you have a number of characters to choose from and a number of levels to play on. The game keeps track of which characters you've beaten each level with. This sets up the implicit challenge: beat every level with every character. Suddenly it suggested that you should play a number of runs equal to the number of characters multiplied by the number of levels, and if that total number is at least 30, then the duration of these runs will reach that crucial 2-hour refund window. Probably 5 levels and 6 characters then. This was the goal, but alas I failed to reach it. There's only 4 levels. This is partly because I decided to make all the characters and levels meaningfully different. For instance, while one level, the Ghoul Yard, is completely normal, another, the Doom Lair, has a boss which pesters you ceaselessly and kills you instantly if it's still alive at the end. While Jerry is a completely normal character, Gloria is one who builds a deadly fortress of industrial machines, and Olive is one who only levels up by hunting down blessed orbs. So I'm not terribly concerned about not reaching my characters and levels quota, since realistically most people are not going to complete everything anyway, and between pausing to pick upgrades and failure, it'll probably take way more time than 4 minutes on average to beat a level with a given character. Also, I came up with this really good way to incentivize people to play a little more in cool and unusual ways. There's a little bit of text at the bottom of the character select screen that tells people how to unlock something new. Normally I tend to be very cagey with secrets and unlocks, so this did not come naturally to me, but in retrospect it's a very phenomenal idea. It subtly tells people that the game's not over, even if it might look like it. As with most of my projects these days, Neon Survivors has also been an experiment in code architecture. I have been making extensive use of Godot's custom resources for things like levels and upgrades. For instance, you have the upgrades, which have their names and descriptions and icons and things like that as properties. Some of them, like the Zappening, have custom scripts which make things happen. In this case, causes all damage dealt to also zap a nearby enemy. I found this custom script thing kind of annoying though, since when you apply the script, it wipes out all the data you've already put in. Like if I type in the description and then add the script, I have to re-add the description from memory. When making unlocks, which are also resources, I found a better way to do that. The properties of a resource can be many things, like text for a description, or a texture for an icon, or a number for how common something is. It can also, it turns out, be a script. So unlocks don't have a script attached in the traditional way, they have a script as a property, and changing a property does not wipe any data. The point of this script is to check if the unlocks condition has been met, call it a condition script or something. When invoked, the unlock will spin up an instance of that script and run its simple function to see if the condition has been met, and then grant the relevant unlock if so. What this also means is that I can use these condition scripts to activate other things based on progress, like granting Steam achievements. They're reusable. All this resource and property business, hypothetically, makes it much easier to make a big list of something mildly complicated like unlocks or upgrades. All I need to do is click on the thing and drag in whatever icon and write out descriptions and names in a fairly intuitive way. Certainly beats the old way I'd do these things by writing out a big list of the stuff in code using dictionaries, and then I'd need to remember often what the dictionary keys were called or make functions to retrieve the data. It was a whole hassle. Glad I no longer do it. At the risk of invoking the terrible ghosts of Dunning and Kruger, I might be good at music now? Beepbox and its modded version Jumbox have been lifesavers in this regard. They're really good tools with powerful functions implemented in a way that I find approachable, whereas more traditional DAWs like Cakewalk and LMMS are usually very confounding to me. What I've yet to figure out at time of writing is how to properly implement this music into the game. So what I have is, every level has a list of music it plays at particular times. When the current music track finishes, it'll check the time, and if you've reached, for instance, 2 minutes, it'll play the 2-minute music track next. Otherwise it'll repeat the same one again. But at present, there's a millisecond of silence between one track and the next. It's just long enough to be audible, and a little jarring. Not sure what to do about that, maybe start playing the music a little earlier and fade in, something like that. Problem for future Yokos. You know, with all this talk of code architecture and meaningfully different levels of music implementation, it certainly doesn't sound like a speedrun development process. And if you came to this conclusion, you'd be right. Shit took 4 goddamn months. I started at the beginning of the year, more or less. Along the way, the concept of making the game fast just kind of fell by the wayside, not to mention all the other stuff I've been doing alongside NS, most notably Omnigon. Right, well, that's that. Game's coming out this month. It's on Steam over there. Then maybe or maybe not some post-launch updates. I do have Omnigon updates. Maybe I'll make a video about that sometime soonish. Whomst knows? Bye. Whee!